Hey everybody, this is Grimcat here, and we are here for the first time with a game that I'm incredibly excited about. We're here with Divinity 2, Original Sin, or rather Divinity Original Sin 2. We're going to be doing a playthrough on this one, hopefully the full thing, we'll see what happens. Let's jump right in. We're going to do single player, and we're going to do classic mode. And we're going to have a good time. Well, I'm going to have a good time at least. So, our character? I think... I don't know why you can be an undead everything. That seems a little silly to me. But, whatever. We're not going to be taking one of the original people. Maybe we should, however, we're not. I think we're going to take a lizard man. We're going to take the lady just because she's huge. Do you get different talents? And because we persuasion? Persuasion is pretty nice. We're gonna go in as an Inquisitor, but we're gonna change things up just a teensy tiny bit. Like, I think that weapon is weird. Can we do a random name? Because I think that's like the default. Look at that. That's awesome. Mahalia. That is not a bad name, but oh, I can't think of another name. Let's change up. I do kind of like the blue. Ugh. We're gonna go with that face. Oh, some of these options. Oh, and I like how they're all precious stone colors. Huh. We're gonna go with the chrysolite facial features? None? Okay.
Meet your maker. I'm ready.
Greet the Reaper for me.
Almost got me that time. Galore.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
Okay. Let's see. We're gonna go way into persuasion on this one. Warfare Necromancer, that's good. Talents Executioner, that's good. I just gotta check real quick. Okay, that is a mace. That's not a... I thought that was a staff or something. And we are... we're going with... Going with crippling blow, excuse me. Mosquito swarm and bloodsucker. We're gonna try to be heavily armored and then use our own skills to sort of keep ourselves alive. At least that is the idea. Yeah, executioner. Oh, I don't think living armor will stack up with necromancer, but it would be pretty nice. We're gonna be a soldier and a barbarian. That'll be interesting. We're gonna go with the cello. I got the sound pretty low right now, and we'll see how that works. But, I think I am pretty happy with this. There. We're Mahalaquaddle. Just a teeny tiny little change, but I think it adds a lot. And let's go.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic.
That jawline on that picture.
Like flies to honey. The monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me.
He needs a promotion.
Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So one of the things that I love about this, and why I decided to put Tyranny on hold and play this one, is because everything in this one, well, not quite everything, but most things in this are voice acted, which is pretty awesome. Like if you're reading books and things of that nature, it's not voice acted, but
So
everything else.
It wasn't a dream after all.
Pretty much in all of our dialogue, things like that, between characters, all that stuff. I probably should have put that out. We're gonna not take the pillow, I think. Yeah. Oh, okay. I will likely not be reading everything out loud, but I'll keep it up there for a second or two, so you can pause things. I've already played through a little bit of this, so I get a basic idea
He seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
of what to do.
Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that
How
collar fits you
tall are
snugly
you?
enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
We're gonna go with the soldier response. Give the Magister a quick salute and report for duty on the good ship.
The good ship Merryweather. But you can stand at ease there, Private. You do realize you're not in any army here, don't you?
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
Good girl is pretty condescending. You can trade with just about everybody. So I'll at least be opening up all the little trades. Pull the thing around to your neck futilely. Demand to know why she called
Why,
me.
for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
She might be playing a trick. Don't do it.
Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise.
You recall great powers building inside you, the ones you commanded before your capture. Unleash them!
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
We're gonna be playing kind of a good guy. Let's take a look at our journal. It's got information about our quests. Again, I am not reading it.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he all
However,
here?
I'll leave it up so you can pause. Read it yourself.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
We're also likely gonna talk with everybody.
Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
Peer into the room and asked what happened.
Take him into this room.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
Always does? Does this sort of thing happen often?
You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar and killed a man. Small ones this time, thank the gods. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural.
Now, where did I leave my calipers?
Okay.
Ugly sight, isn't it?
It's not pleasant.
Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
You're not this man's protector. You're his captor.
Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of,
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course.
Anything in parentheses like this as a special character options going by our class, or say whether we're a lizard or a female or something like that, or our background, not necessarily our class. Say, we don't hail from the House of Dreams. When you sleep, we sleep.
Figured as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that?
Our price is considerably higher than that.
Not in here, it isn't. You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
I like how it's glowing a little bit.
No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic.
Of course I can't do anything with it right now. What happens?
The hatch is blocked.
Okay.
I'll need to find another way.
Fair enough. Probably a lot of twisting of the camera, so if that's the kind of thing that bothers you, makes you sick, well, I apologize.
become a yes over time.
Let's add a little bit of rope.
It was one of them. I know it.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
Okay.
My mum is afraid of lizards. I'm not. I think you're neat. I'd be happy if I had a tail.
We're
Wow. Are you a dragon? You look like a dragon. But where are your wings?
Oh, there you are, wife. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical.
allergical. We'll play along and take her arm with a grin. Tell the children they must be
How
mistaken.
very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
That's true enough. Los, I presume?
You presume right.
What do you know about the murder?
Nope.
Know anything
Trying not
about
to find anything out
murder?
either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Huh. You ought to have a look around with me. We can watch each other's backs.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Oh.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Oh. There's our bedroll. Can't talk to the sheep because we don't talk to animals. Because you can do that in this game.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
Racist.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
What are you doing?
Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
Whose fate is she deciding?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
If you can decide fates with dice, can you read the future in cow entrails?
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
I don't see why not. Extend your arm.
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
We'll stare at the ground embarrassed. You had quite forgotten about that.
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
Oh, rough.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken
I'm busy
pigs.
watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Oh, fuck you too.
Turnips and water are all
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this trampy fan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
And for some reason, our instinct cries out to salute to Ifan, so we do.
Ifan seems amused at the gesture, but he bats your arm down from the salute when the Magister sees what you're doing.
You served?
We're gonna say that we did serve, but you'd rather not tell him who you served.
Don't blame you. Enough bad blood on this ship already. Nice to meet another pair of boots, anyway.
Alright, well he was
He leans
a soldier,
in and adjusts
obviously.
your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
Why does the Magister suspect you of murder?
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing.
Very subtle.
Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
Let's ask Ifan what he did to find himself at the mercy of a subordinate.
Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties.
Yeah, just throwing it out there, but did you murder that man?
No.
Oh.
The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
Fair enough.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
Do you know where we're headed?
The Joy.
Fort
I've heard
Joy.
a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself.
I've no interest in Alexander. All I care about is surviving Fort Joy.
Not interested in the son of the divine himself? I don't blame you one bit. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, Lizard, what's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a...
Name?
Yeah, we'll tell him the name.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Oh my god, he's got an enemies list.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
And some fellow lizard folk.
Mad? And
I did not mean to pick that up.
Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Forgive me, kin. Were that I had more than gruel to serve. If I'd more than cornmeal and rotting roots, I'd concoct something more fitting.
You turn out rotten, Ben Mest.
Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Indeed.
On a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we?
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
We're gonna mumble through our clenched jaws. What on earth is he
I'm
doing?
inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't spectacularly obvious. There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
We can cook.
Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Stick a thumb through one of the holes in your garb and say, these provide cool in summer.
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
You most certainly have pride. You're no stranger to combs, powders, and perfumes. Though exactly what we would do with a comb, you know, who knows?
The very basics, then.
The basics.
I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook and groom, but you have the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit. Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
Tell me if half a mind to punch him in the
You
face.
should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence, will you? I'm a fair man, but I won't spare the rod. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now shoo!
Would you put a knuckle in it?
I think we were just made a slave.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle
Take
to
all
them.
this beer.
I'll give you that knuckle if you
Oh,
keep carrying
dear.
on.
One of us wouldn't kill our
We're
own.
gonna take
They're
all these
picking us off one by
bedrolls
one.
too.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you?
And
you
we're gonna
shut up?
take a bucket down.
You think me mad?
We're we're gonna head and
Mad?
equip it.
Insufferable.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
Oh, good stuff.
I'll tell
But,
you if you can keep it quiet
I
long enough for
can't
me
do
to
that.
listen.
Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take 'em on.
An antler and an apple.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
You've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor...
We're gonna ask what you're meant to be hearing.
The ship, of course.
We're quieten, and listen to the sounds of the ship.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Never thought you'd end up.
The ship is moaning like a sick man.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close.
Close your eyes and try to let the ambient sounds on the ship fade
There
away.
now, just like that.
As the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It's squeaking.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back, the other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good news.
We heard it. What's it supposed to be?
It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
He shouldn't talk like that about such a magnificent beard.
Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate, even here.
Whether are you so excited about reaching Fort Joy? I haven't heard anything good about it.
Yeah, no indeed, Ghetto. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
We're gonna say nothing, but look him over once before leaving. We may want to find him again. Oh, we can't talk to the dog.
Name?
Tell him her name.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
No? Okay, fair enough.
Got this wolf on a leash now.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail.
Oh my.
He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and rubs his chin.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
We're gonna reach over and ruffle his hair with a grin.
What purpose did that serve? Was that a greeting? Was it... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, Lizard. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once.
We're gonna ask about the book. It really seems to have drawn him in.
I do not believe I've been drawn anywhere. It is a quaint little read, but it has its faults. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
We're going to boast that the ancient empire has abided through all history, even in the face of the divine order. Stand strong.
Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already.
Oh.
No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
We're going to admit that some things just aren't known.
Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
We're barbarians. We're going to insist why he was so curious about
No
gods.
amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
Well, fair enough.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams has just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
We're going to ask if he actually cares.
Of course I do. Seems Voidwalk can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Keep those bubbles trained on her. And if
There's
she
nothing
tries
else
to
I can
run,
make,
shoot
Your
to
Majesty.
kill.
Turnips and water
You seem on
are
edge,
all I
officer.
was given.
What on earth is the matter?
Unacceptable.
Murder most foul. And I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
No.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
No. It's probably not good.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer. It's Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
We're going to address her and ask what she meant by there are others whose lives must end.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
Oh.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
And of course, they're just chunks. The game begins in earnest. We're gonna, of course, do a little bit of looting first. There's all this food and wine and stuff around. Gonna grab that ham. And we've got a weapon. Part of a good sword. No, the good part of a sword. Crossbow and a makeshift club, which is our weapon, our two-handed. And we gain all in. We're gonna move things just a tiny little bit. We can't do anything with that yet, so... Whoop. Wrong button. again. Oh, well, these are just nothing, apparently. We'll mark them as wares, which means we can quick sell them. And you can read your own. Or on your own. Everybody's been...
What happened?
Knocked out.
Must have been the turnips.
Slap him in the face. He needs to get up now.
You dare strike a royal? Ooh.
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead.
We'll check for a heartbeat.
You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just.
Looks like he's got a black eye. Oh, he's got an eye patch. Never mind.
Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. A low whine escapes his lips.
Shake him.
His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out. Then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be roused.
Not quite sure where we found the key, but we did. And that gives us a bunch of new recipes. A restoration scroll. Just a little bit of gold. Mashed potatoes. Poison. Mashed potatoes. We'll grab a cooking pot. We'll grab a pocket knife. Potato. Wine. Journal. Garlic. Garlic. Empty bottle. Nothing. Something on fire. A potato. Oh, now we're on fire. I don't actually want the washing tub. Well, we're just gonna burn for a little bit. Let's read this journal. Where'd it go? Sketches of dragons.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
We'll get you out of here.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to reach her.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
Okay. And lastly, Alosa.
The young woman lies in a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open, like those of a corpse. Dark, greyish-black clouds swirl through them.
We're gonna shout at her to wake up.
She doesn't stir.
It did not work. We're not taking the leg.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
We will ignore her. Apparently.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Oh. I thought that was the way we went. Apparently we go up this way. Check that body too. Ooh, good thing we did. He had a key on him. Ooh, we'll take a tooth. We'll take most everything. And I believe that's a shirt with actual armor on it. So we'll take that. And now we have clothes. Like real clothes. Armor. Like real armor. I mean, not like real armor at all. puppy dog. Can't talk to it. We're gonna take this water barrel, put it onto the flames, and it will put out the flames. Gold cup. Ooh, that's worth some money.
Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Okay, I don't see the point of
God
that.
damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick.
Yeah. I'm working on it. Just taking my time and looting. After all, what would I do without this 5 gold I found? Total.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinter. What in blazes? Something's pounding on the hull.
Yeah, we got some shoes. We're gonna go ahead and put them on. Sort of. We don't wear shoes, apparently. As Bull Lizard person. Well, that didn't quite work out. Death fog barrels. Key to it.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead.
That jewel is glorious.
The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No. What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid. No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
There's something familiar. Now we're gonna ask if he shouldn't be doing the same. The ship is going
The
down.
skeleton groans and looks back to his book.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly use the little you were given. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over.
Why we didn't see him before? He kind of stands out.
I believe you did. Although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
That seems quite sensible.
Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
Okie dokie. Doesn't care too much about life.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You don't recognize the symbol, but it's clearly warning you away. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It
Open the
doesn't
door.
budge.
Use
the door
key.
groans open. but an ashen shadow clouds your...
Deathfall? I need to get out of here now.
Quick save. Can we grab that without dying? We sure can. If you go into this stuff, you die. And it looks really trippy, too. So, there's that. Which, you know, is nice, I guess. I mean, the game, I have to say, the game looks fantastic. Didn't mean to shut that door. And a fight! He's probably not going to be able to... yeah, telling me a little bit about poison. Yeah, about the combat. Okay. Okay. I don't know how much damage we do without. I mean, that's okay. We do 8 through 9. Okay. Hello. Sure, we'll go all in. Do a crippling blow. I thought we were supposed to hit more than one person, but we did not. And we are regenerating a little bit. Oh, we executed him, so we get more again. So we'll do another crippling blow. I mean, all of it. That thing kind of hits hard, though. Great, we found some things. And we found a shirt, so now we have some... Oh, wait, we already have a shirt. Oh. It's killing you all. We'll leapfrog the... okay. We don't need to leapfrog the barrel. And I don't care... Well, okay, we'll search them. Maybe we can actually pick these up. Use them. Oh, we can. Oh. Well, we can pick up one. They do weigh like 60 pounds each, so... Fair enough. The other one. Steam removes burning. How interesting. Search. Got a staff, and we can learn how to make a staff because, I don't know, reasons. Or wand, excuse me.
That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
What? Here, let's have a trade.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here.
kid's right. We gotta go back down for the others.
Thank you!
Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Gosh, the guy's a dick.
If you can walk, get yourself up the ladder. There's a wait! Voidwoken!
Voidwoken. Let's see. Bam! That's a nice little hit right there.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
So this is where we can kind of see a little bit about what all the other characters can
They who are about to triumph.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Just a bit, though. And not all of them, actually, because we can't... Fane's not a part of this. Gosh, everybody is way quicker than I am. We can, in fact, die during this. Happened to me once. Burn all that stuff. Backstab. We do not wish to delay our turn. We wish to use Mosquito Swarm. Heal up a little bit. Search him. And Bloodsucker and heal up a little bit more. And then we're gonna move just a tiny bit.
No telling where there might be more. We need to move.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
They smell even worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
Yeah, we'll be there in just a moment. Here's some things we gotta check up on first. I will be taking advantage of my quick saves and quick loads. Some.
Here's something. It's Magister Siwa, the one who put on this damn collar.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound.
We're gonna look around for some way to help her.
With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture.
We'll take the cloth and hold it tight to the wound and try to stem the bleeding.
Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror.
We're gonna hold the cloth tighter to the wound?
It's working.
Oh,
the
good.
pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan clutches your arm, her eyes locked with yours.
And then we're gonna trade.
Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder.
We're gonna continue holding the cloth to the wound.
Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan, then cracks.
It's ripping the ship apart!
Man, look at that thing. Like a weird tentacle in the middle of it.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Okay.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Can we get another, like, Divinity 2 flash screen or another title screen? I think after every epic moment we should get a title screen again. Just to really hammer it in what you're playing. Oh, but we're alive. Sort of.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor?
I don't know.
This must be Fort Joy.
Better start collecting seashells. Very interestingly, apparently all the loot is random, because this is... I did not find thread, I know for a while, or for a fact. Enemy over there. On my little test bit.
I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King.
There is Brachus Rex.
Garbage.
Oh, $17, not garbage.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards.
Oh, that's a pity. We're famed storytellers.
Really? Like, what kind of stories?
We could talk about Visha, the famed lizard adventurer who slew the seven-headed snake of Orem.
A seven-headed snake? That sounds scary.
It does.
Can I hear it anyway?
Yes.
You want to tell the tale of Visha, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the child.
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
We're gonna ask him if he thinks we look like a sorcerer.
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy.
They may well be wrong and crazy.
Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than outside.
We're gonna tell him it's not safe out here.
But you didn't die.
Well... yeah, but just barely.
There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean.
No.
You'll see. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary.
Okay. these things.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
You. I know you.
Oh, it's talking to me. That's a bit unsettling. We're gonna move around here and wait for him to come to us. Oh, we still got an attack off. 2 attack offs? That's bull. 3 attack offs? What? Well, we're gonna heal. For 9 at least. We're gonna mosquito swarm. Hopefully heal some more. And then we're gonna all in on him. And now we're healed back up. Mostly. Crippling strike.
I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay.
Apparently they do not work.
Drowned and eaten by Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
I do not care about this, but I would quite like... Didn't I just grab a healing potion? I swore... There we go. I would quite like that right there. It's got nothing on him. There's some leather scraps, however. So I guess that's something. Can we... We can make it a bit further, but to what end, I don't know. No end, really, it looks like. Give me them seashells. Die by the sword, we can read this. And now we got a new recipe, or at least we were supposed to get a new recipe, but there are a little bit of bugs in the game so far. This is really early, pretty much into the launch, so, you know. Maybe some minor issues here or there. Nothing over there. Here's the red prince.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep.
We've got a bone to pick with you.
The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, 2 smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
Yes, I imagine you do. You're made of sterner stuff than I first gave you credit for. Chances are I wouldn't have survived the shipwreck had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Well, we were glad to be of help.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we?
Everybody's so
Nevertheless, one
snarky.
good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned, let's just forget about it. You may as well have your freedom.
No, I appreciate that.
Now then, if there's nothing further...
alright,
He
bye.
watches you depart without a word.
We will not be taking him with us. I know who we will be taking with us. And it's not him. I need those mushrooms.
Black cat. I like cats, but I wouldn't eat a whole one.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, its eyes clear.
And it shakes its head confused. Oh, a cross.
Here lies a nameless inmate. May he find the peace denied him in life in the Hall of Echoes.
Well, gee, I wonder if there's a secret right here.
I wonder where this leads.
Why, sure enough there is. And we find Fane in a long
As the
dead
alcove
man.
opens up, you see the same skeleton that you met on the boat before it sank. He's still not wearing his mask. He's leaning over a corpse, prodding and pulling at the skin of its face.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor?
We're gonna cough politely.
Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected.
We're surprised to find you as well. Why'd you head for a prison island?
It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I gave her credit for. I chased her here, but she rather seems to have given me the slip. Thus...
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
We're gonna nod towards the corpse. Anything valuable there?
Oh, yes. An exceptionally common, but exceptionally valuable commodity. A face. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
And why is this so urgent? This is a prison. It's not like he's going anywhere.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have important things to do on Reaper's Coast. I cannot simply sit about waiting for the rest of you to die so I may continue my business in peace. No, I may be an eternal, but my patience has its limits. Indeed, I may be the only eternal. My people seem rather absent, at least from this realm. As for the others, well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers.
Why are you still here if all your people have vanished?
Well, that hardly seems relevant. But if you must know, I was inconvenienced for a time. Several centuries, in fact. Or perhaps millennia. One tends to lose track. I was sealed in a tomb for daring to be curious about the world. It seems our king did not agree that the universe should be explored to its full potential. Perhaps I should thank him. It seems I was spared whatever happened to the others. I wonder if flowers would be appropriate.
Where do you think your people are? In some other realm?
Ah, well, that is the curious thing. They are clearly absent from this world, and yet they are everywhere. Every one of your races resembles them in some manner, and the statues you have built to your gods look remarkably familiar. Perhaps my people have ascended to some new realm, or perhaps your gods are merely a folk memory. Regardless, they are not here, but I will find them, wherever they are.
An eternal, what is that, some sort of cult?
A cult? Hardly. We were a race that existed before the idea of race was needed. We were all one. I could ask you to imagine an Eternal as a creature of incredible intelligence and skill. But I fear the limits of your imagination would not do us justice. We studied the mysteries of the universe. We created works of great art. We disappeared. But I will find them. Wherever they are, I will find them. We will have our world again.
Well, it sounds like you need a companion. Would you like to travel?
I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful.
Yeah, it could work out well.
Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in, well, all things. Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality, but being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? Much magic? I was controlling the powers of the universe while your people were still doing whatever it is you used to do. What speciality would you prefer?
We're gonna leave him as a wizard.
I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? There's rather a lot to see. Splendid. Very well. Let's be off.
And now we have another person. Hooray. And he's got ignition, fossil strike, and searing daggers. So, pyrokinetic and geomancer. And here we learn a little bit about tension, and we're at medium tension. We're going to go ahead and end the episode right here. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and comment should you wish to do so. I also hope that you have a great day. And peace out.